Hello YouTube family. Shop dog's out here, he's taking a nap with me. Alright, so I'm back at it again today. I apologize. I didn't start this video from the beginning, and I should have. So today I'm just out here doing some preventative maintenance. And what I'm going to be doing today is replacing my heater hoses and my radiator hoses. Obviously, to start off with doing that, you've got to make sure you get all your antifreeze out of your radiator. I'm not sure how your bus is set up, but on mine and most vehicles, at the bottom of the radiator is a little thing called a petcock, and it's basically a valve at the bottom of your radiator that opens up and allows you to drain your radiator fluid out. So it's simple, you know, open and close, just like a water faucet. Alright, so righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And mine, I'm sure there's more in the bottom of the block. I'm not like flushing the entire system, so I just need to replace the hoses. So all I need to do is empty the radiator. And mine took, there's a 5-gallon bucket there, and probably another gallon, maybe 1.5 gallons in there. So roughly 6.5 gallons came out of it. And you want to, when you do that, you want to take your radiator cap off, because that'll give you some airflow through the system. Now I have already, I'll be replacing this big thing, and there's another one right there. That one's, I'm not sure how that one works because it has a spring inside of it, but I'll find out. Shouldn't be too hard. I've replaced radiator hoses before, and then I'll have to replace all of this hose here, and this hose, and these hoses. These two lead into the buck. That is where your radiator fluid circulates through your engine. It heats up, comes into your bus. You have, there's one heater core, and there is another heater core. So your fluid comes in one hose, circulates through your system, all the way through here. It goes through there, follows that hose, up through there, behind the dash, comes in here, does its thing in there, and comes back, and goes back outside, and it's just a continual circle. So that warm and hot radiator fluid, which on average is about 160 degrees, runs through your heater core. Your blower fans suck that warm air out of that box and blow it out your vents, and that's how you get your heat coming in and out. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So these are held on by these little things. Can't remember what they're called at this time, but it's simply just, it goes over your hose, and then you tighten it down with that. So that's where I'm at for now. I'm sure within the next couple of weeks I'll probably replace the belts too. You can see This one's kind of worn down. So the last thing I want is to be driving down the road and one of my belts pop, and I won't have any tools to fix it. Well, okay, I'm gonna pause for now, take off a few hoses, replace those, and I'll show you my progress. So it took me the better part of the day, but for the most part I'm pretty much done. So I've got new hoses all the way through here and down through there, and that goes up into the inside, and then so that's all been replaced. Now the only thing I haven't done yet is that little piece. I didn't realize it. I guess it's like a 90-degree hose, so I couldn't bend the regular hose without it crimping. That one's replaced, and so this is new, and then there's one down there on the bottom. I replaced that one too. So we'll come back out here. Oh yeah, so let's go inside the buck. Okay, so got all these replaced up through there. I've got my return hoses. Those have all been done, and then it goes over here and then it comes back and goes back out. Tomorrow I'll get that one piece fixed up, and then I'll be able to refill it. I'll show you guys how I do that, and then try to show you the best way that I know how to do it. Now I'm not a mechanic, so you know, I do what I can, and I try to share what I can with you guys, so that you can hopefully work on your bus. You know, these are the things that, you know, nobody really tells you about. All you see is the pretty stuff and people redoing their bus and putting all the cool stuff inside of it. Nobody ever tells you that, you know, you're gonna have to spend potentially, whoops, a couple $1,000s before you ever get started. Alright, so it's towards the end of the day, and pretty much done everything I can do today until I get that 90-degree hose to finish doing what I'm doing. Like I say, I'm not a mechanic. I just try to, you know, figure it out, and if I don't know it, I just go to YouTube University, and you know, it's usually there. When we refill everything tomorrow, I'll show you everything that I've learned looking at other Skoolie sites and doing the research that I can do to figure out the best way to get all the air out. Because once you fill this thing up, you've got to get all that antifreeze in there, and then hopefully there's no air left behind, because if you get air left in it, then it'll vapor lock. And basically what that means is when your engine gets so hot, the thermostat's supposed to open up so your antifreeze can circulate through your engine, but if there's air in there, it'll fix that. Well, it won't fix it, but it'll lock up the thermostat so your antifreeze doesn't go through everything. We'll go through that process tomorrow. Okay, so I'm back out here on the buck. Okay, so what I did for starters, so this here, this one, that's your main radiator hose on the top. You've also got another main on the bottom there. Okay, so what I did for starters is this larger one on the top actually comes out of your radiator into your engine, and it hits your thermostat, which is right in there. Once it gets so hot, thermostat opens up and allows your radiator fluid to go into your engine and cool it down. So the first thing I did was I filled up radiator fluid in where the thermostat area goes, until it wouldn't take any more. Then I put this hose back on. From that point, I took one of my extra pieces of this 1-inch heater hose and I shoved it inside the top here, and I filled it up to where, so the gravity kind of works with itself. You want to fill it up to start off at the highest point, which for me was right there. And then I started to fill it up right here. And the reason I did it here instead of filling it up in your tank is because I wanted to make sure all the bubbles, any air bubbles, were out of whatever's in the block. So I made sure that came out. So I got my 1-inch hose in here. I filled it up until gravity did its thing and it started to level off, and radiator fluid started coming out of our hose here. All right, so at that point I put this hose back on. Then I came over here to where you put your radiator fluid in. Okay, from that point I just continued to fill it up, fill it up, fill it up, and fill it up until it wouldn't take anymore. And then I squeezed the larger radiator hose on the top, and it, I guess in theory, it kind of forces your bubbles out into here, and when you let go of it, it sucks nothing but radiator fluid back into that hose. So I'm waiting. Actually, I had it cranked up yesterday, and when I cranked it up to get the engine warmed up, there's another pulley that goes right in here, and it's called an idler or tension pulley. So the bearings in that thing actually blew out, and I couldn't continue running the engine anymore. After a lot of research and calling International and a couple of other bus salvage yards, I was able to find a replacement part. With our engine being a 1985, the old part number didn't work anymore, so we had to find out what the new reassigned part number was. Luckily, we were able to find that, and we've got a replacement part on the way. So once we do that, I will crank up the engine and get it back up to temperature. Once I do that, that will circulate all of the radiator fluid throughout the engine and force out any bubbles, any air pockets that might be in it. And I'll keep an eye on the temperature, because if there's air in it, it'll get vapor locked. I'm not exactly sure what that means. I just know that it means if it's vapor locked, your thermostat won't open up for the engine coolant to go in and cool it down. So yeah, so that's where we're at on this for now. I'm actually going to wait. So this will be the valve for the heater. That'll let the radiator fluid flow through here into my pump, through this hose, into my heater cores in the bus. It'll come back out through the bottom hose and basically do a big circulation, a big circle for the heater. So I'm not going to do that yet because, well, I'll just give you a teaser for some of the upcoming videos. I hope you're learning something from us. If you like watching our videos, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we post new videos. And please hit that like button, because that will push our videos further for other people that are interested in school bus conversions. Thanks a lot. Okay, so teaser video. We're going to do our best to recreate everything that we can in wood.